Yo, yo. If you are here, you probably already know about all of the exciting stuff going on in EpicDuel these days. Most specifically, the introduction of the new currency, which can be used to purchase old rares and replicas. And of course, I'm talking about the balance token. You can earn balance tokens by completing weekly missions, but you can get your first one right now if you redeem code BALANCE. Again, that is code BALANCE. Just go into the upgrade shop, redeem code, and type this in. Again, code BALANCE. And if you don't know where the upgrade shop is, it is right here. Redeem code, type it in, hit submit, and you will get your first token. I have already done so I can't show you, but I can show you that I do have one. I am almost done with all of the weekly missions, so I will be getting my second balance token. But this new feature is absolutely game-changing for free-to-play players. So I wanted to take a quick minute to go over what you can get with these balance tokens and do a quick guide on how you can complete the missions completely free to play, zero varium at all. As you can see, my character here is not wearing his usual garb. I am using all non-rare items that you can run around and purchase right now if you'd like. I'm sure most of you free-to-play players already have the gear that you like, the weapons that you want to use that are available to you. You can use any combination of those. I'll get into more of that when we actually talk about the challenges themselves. This armor, by the way, you can get if you don't have it. Just redeem the code Stay Classy. Same process as getting your first balance token. But this just really is to hammer home the point that you don't even need the cosmetics to will yourself to victory in some of these challenges. So real quick, let's jump to the Alonzo Harris in Friesland. This is where you will be able to access the shop, where you can spend your balance tokens. And it's also where you will access the weekly missions. So let's take a quick look at the shop. There's so many awesome rares in here. It's crazy. There are old replicas and old customs from previous year's gifting, some from this year's gifting. Most of them can be purchased for balance tokens. Some are varium only, but I would say about 80% of them can be purchased with balance tokens. Now, the ones that I'm the most excited about are these two. And I look forward to grinding for them in about 9 weeks, since I already got my first one by redeeming code BALANCE. Again, that is code BALANCE for your first balance token. You can get bunny Zukas. I mean, look at this. These are awesome. 10 tokens, 5 tokens each. There's plenty of other awesome items in here. Take a look. You can get some of these bots. I believe weirdos, yep, and Romans are both available for balance tokens, which is just incredible. You can get a Gamma bot replica completely free to play. So now that you have the incentive, like, okay, how do I complete these missions? Well, the first couple are pretty easy. The first one, you have to defeat Nightwraith. Second one, you have to defeat Legendary Nightwraith. The third one is where things get a little bit complicated. You have to defeat Nightmare Nightwraith. And I don't know if many of you have done that. I know several people were asking for help in the Discord. You can do it with another player. And if you're lower rank, that will probably be easier, but you can beat it solo completely free to play. I have the build on, and this is the build. 925 health, 63 dex, rest into tech. On your armor and your weapons, everything into dex, their leftovers into technology. You want to go energy, energy, physical, energy. The bot you may have to purchase, and the cores you may have to purchase if you don't have them, but they are credit only. I have compiled a shopping list for you to make it easier. So if you take a look here, the core that you will need for your primary is critical heal, which you can get at the Vendbot. You really do not need Plasma Meteor. I put it there as an optional core because I was struggling to find free-to-play cores that I had. But I did end up just buying a charged one because it's cheaper. I did a few test runs on the boss battle, and I never used it. So totally optional. You could just not have an active core, but you definitely want that critical heal. Lifeline, if you are a Varium player, I strongly recommend it. If you're getting crit a lot and things are hairy, you will want that. On the sidearm, you're going to go Fortitude. Again, you can get it at Venbot. Optional, piercing shot. I would recommend it. I tend to use it in hairy situations just to get a little bit more damage and eke out a little bit more lifesteal. But if you are Varium, again, I would recommend using Frozen Rift. For the armor, everything into physical. Grab Unbreakable Heart from Endless Matrix, and you'll want to grab Draconic Frost King's Will NPC version from Titan. On the Ox, you can run Fortitude again, Venbot, and you could run Concussive Shot from Venbot. There are other cores that you can get for credits, but some are seasonal. And realistically, this build works even if you don't have Concussive Shot. So again, it's optional. You don't need the active core. It's nice to have if you want to use it. Maybe if you're in a pinch and you're, making a desperate play. This build may not work every time. It worked 3 out of 4 times for me, but there were some hairy scenarios that I'm kind of shocked I made it out of alive. For the robot, you're going to pick up the Azrael's Doombringer Beauty E for NPC, and that is at the Challenger. Your total credit spend, if you have to change class to Blood Mage, would be 128,000 credits. But if you're already Blood Mage, it would be 103,000 credits. Granted, you don't have these other cores that you need. So that is the shopping list. If you haven't compiled all that information yet, just pause the video because it is going away. If you are a Varium player, I do recommend swapping these and going higher on Maelstrom and lower on Plasma Cannon. The issue with the free-to-play version of the build is towards the end of the fight, energy management is so difficult, and you can't really produce as much damage. You don't have that critical heal, or not critical heal. You don't have lifeline in case you need a quick heal, which is cheaper than your actual heal. So this setup works really well because you're using less energy when you have your energy parasite. And when you're towards the end, if you ever see that your mana total is above 440 and you don't have a heal, but you know you're going to need one soon, you can Plasma Cannon because you will have enough left over, and it should do more damage and then more lifesteal. So that is enough rambling about the build and how it works. Let's actually go fight Nightmare Nightwraith. Now, this build will work for all levels. I'm not going to show you all of the levels because the strategy is pretty much the same. For regular Nightwraith, you're not going to use the Draconic Frost King's Will. For legendary, you will towards the end of the battle. It's not as important. But for Nightmare Nightwraith, you're definitely going to want to be using that boost whenever you can. So let's just dive right into it. I'm going to throw on just a little background music while we grind here. And I'll kind of explain my thought process. So he did a decent amount of damage to start, but we're just going to boost. If you can boost. If he like does a buff or something, you can attack and then boost. But we'll boost Plasma Cannon. Then we'll bot special. That's kind of the opening maneuver here. After bot special, we're going to energy parasite, and then we're going to maelstrom, and then we're going to plasma cannon, pending we don't need to heal. Hit that. If you're not sure when your boost is over, you can hover over it, same as any of the status effects you impart on Nightwraith over here. We'll parasite. Health is looking good. We're going to want to boost. And then we're going to use energy depleting attack. So we can maelstrom. We don't have it. We can plasma cannon. That's good. You could risk it for the biscuit here because you're going to be boosted and go for the maelstrom, but you're not going to be able, well, you should still be able to heal anyways, but we'll do it. You could heal. You should probably heal there, but we're going to forgo the heal. And luckily he didn't crit us into oblivion. We're going to heal now just to be safe. We do have the bot coming up on the next attack, so we didn't necessarily need to do that. But we'll bot. We should have one more round. Oh, well, we'll boost. Bot, boost. Then we'll energy parasite, which is honestly a better loop. The skills don't have cooldowns that line up properly for you to actually do the same thing over and over. So you have to kind of play it by ear. Like here, we just got absolutely rocked. We're going to need a heal. So I want to make sure we're going to have enough. But you should always have enough to heal, whether you use Maelstrom or Plasma Cannon early on, as long as you're starting from full. So you don't have to worry about it too much. And we can honestly just do it again because, again, we're full. So we could heal next turn, which we're going to need to, and then we'll boost after. So that's kind of like the basic rhythm of the fight. It can not go your way. You can get unlucky. We've been crit a few times, nothing too crazy, but you're just trying to sustain yourself from lifesteal and healing when you can. This is a hairy situation, but we've got the bot back. So if you have the bot, use the bot. Unless you're like fully max health, then maybe you can skip a bot. We need to just go high damage, but we won't be able to heal anyways, so we can energy parasite next turn. And we've still got 2 rounds of boost. So here's a scenario where we need to get lucky. He could kill us here, but he didn't. So okay. If you continue to get crit in a scenario like that, it might just be game over for you. Like if he crit on that stun and then it actually stunned us, that would be a big problem. But he didn't. I'm going to plasma cannon just because, yeah, we might get a crit. They do roughly the same amount of damage and it's less energy. So we're kind of getting to that point where you need to start keeping an eye on your energy as best as you can. And this is a scenario where I would use piercing shot. It'll give us a little bit extra damage on the bot, which will give us a little bit more heal on the front end. And then our 200 each turn. I think Parasite here, because we're going to get another 200 health. Then we can boost. Realistically, you could heal and then boost there, but I'm going to risk it. I'm going to show you, you can be aggressive somewhat, but you're running the risk of having to start all over again. The fight doesn't take that long ultimately, so you may as well just risk it for the biscuit. If at any point during the battle you're like, oh my gosh, I need to take this phone call, or you are just suddenly overwhelmed with the need to go to the bathroom, or whatever the case may be, you can pause, but only when it's on your turn. I made that mistake once. So I'll just show you. You hit pause, pause it, and then you can cancel and it will start it back up again. Here's a scenario where we're going to run out of boost and we don't have a heal and we really need one. I'm going to just Maelstrom because we're going to bot. Very hairy situation. You have to bot and then boost. 400-ish HP is usually pretty safe. Boost. 200. That 200 is going to have to last us multiple turns. Nope. So see, that time it didn't work out in our favor, but we'll run it back again. All right, so that last battle was a perfect example of when Lifeline would have been a game changer. We had the energy to use it, but obviously we don't have access to it. And really, when you get cornered in that health battle, there's not a lot you can do other than hope that you don't get crit or he doesn't do an attack that's going to do a ton of damage. It's just kind of the luck of the draw. RNG wise, you know, wasn't our best fight, but we could have played it a little bit tighter as well. There were times when we might not have healed, when if we did, you know, if you kind of always keep yourself higher health, you can avoid some of these scenarios. Like here, I'm gonna heal, but realistically you might consider healing before you boost. And see, like, that's a ton of damage. You're gonna get the critical heal effect, so it's kind of up to you what you want to do in that scenario, but you want to keep the health flowing as much as possible. It can be worth boosting Dex for the extra 100 energy. That's more so towards the end of the battle, but early on, if things aren't really going your way, it could be worth it too. We're going to try to not do that because it just makes it take a lot longer. So you basically will boost and then boost 2 turns later. so that when this runs out, you still have this active, and then you can boost again. So you always have some sort of additional defense. But really, you want to use the dex boost for the 100 energy that you're going to get, because it is going to cost you healing. Now, like, this is a scenario, like, we can't do a ton of damage. We have a lot of health. We can do it. 100 more energy. It'll make a difference. The more you can kind of bank energy, the better. And since we did, and he still has plenty that we can take, we'll just plasma cannon. We're gonna boost and then bot, because we're still protected. Now we're doubly protected. And you can boost tech as well. That can be, if the opportunity presents itself towards the end of the battle, that is a good play. You'll get 175 energy and you'll have better defense, so it's a win-win for you. But you have to have the HP to sacrifice, so it's not always a viable option. This is one of those scenarios where the lifeline, again, would be super valuable. Luckily, he didn't hit us for a ton of damage. We've got bot coming. We're boosted. We're going to Maelstrom. Bot, boost, parasite, heal. And hope that he doesn't do a ton of damage. Which, we're not really getting our wish here. Okay, this is a situation again, heal and then boost after. Once we get his energy down, he doesn't have as many opportunities to hit us hard. So we can just start whittling away. But we also can't deal as much damage, so we don't get as much life steal, which is a bit of a problem. Heal and bot are both up at the same time, and it's before our next boost. So I'm going to Maelstrom. I'm gonna Rage Gun. See, cheeky little deflection. Bot special. Ooh, and then he gets a giant crit. Wonderful. We'll boost. Parasite. Please don't crit. Nice, 30 damage. We can live with that. Now that's a scenario where you may want to boost Dex as well. But we got to our heal, which is all we were trying to do. Survive to the next heal. Golly, stop with all the damage. This is a scenario where I am gonna Dex boost. And then he's gonna use energy attacks, of course. We're over 440. So we hit him with the plasma cannon. That Dex boost is really helpful right there. We're gonna boost and bot. Just have to survive. 280. Is 280 enough? Ooh, nice block. Now we can heal. And we should. We should heal. Then Parasite. Gosh, lots of deflections. Might Dex boost here, depending on how much damage he does. Oh, 30? Easy money. We're going to Dex boost again. That ensures we have enough energy to heal. Plus the additional that we're getting from the Parasite. Going to boost. We don't have enough to use this, so we're going to use the piercing shot now. We have heal. We're going to use it. And we're going to bot special. We're not actually. We're going to Parasite first. Because our health is looking really good. In fact, I'm going to boost. I'm going to boost and then boost again. It's a little risky. 425. But the double boost should be enough. Obviously, he's going to use his energy attack now. But we can heal next turn, and we'll get more than 2 hundo off that. Which is good. This is where we might consider double boosting, depending on the health situation. So we got 3 rounds left of that. Okay, that's good. We're gonna tech boost. Then we'll dex boost. Then we'll Parasite. Well, we probably won't. We'll go for damage because we're going to boost again. We want to get some lifesteal, get some damage out of this rage. Yeah, we're going to do that. And then heal. No, we'll Parasite. We're plenty buffed. Hit him with this. Then we'll heal. We're going to have to boost here again. 32 damage. You love to see it. And we have enough energy to heal still. That's the glory of the double boost. I'm going to go tech. Because I'm more worried about his ox and his sidearm. Yeah, there you go. And we're just going to Parasite. You don't want to let him get enough energy to heal, for one. But that cheap shot is no joke either. We'll just do pistol. I don't want to say we've got this in the bag yet, because we certainly don't. But we're going to just double boost here. Well, we're going to be singularly boosted. That's okay. So we're going to boost again. Look at all that energy. 552. That's a good place to be, because we need to be able to do damage. Once we get him down under 1,000, like, you got to start thinking about the final blow. I'm just going to heal. 1700. Yeah. I mean, barring anything going insanely wrong, we should be good. We'll go for damage. We're gonna dex boost. We got more than enough health if he crits us with either of those. Then we got a heal coming around anyways. Yeah, let's boost, then parasite. See, this is another time where, like, if you had a critical heal, or no, I keep saying critical heal, I mean lifeline. That little 300 HP would be super nice right there. But we had enough energy to heal, so like I said, barring anything absurd, and of course he crits right after, we should be good. That'll take him down to 54 HP. Just about. We're gonna dex boost here. So we're gonna get the 200 heal, right? And then boom. There you go. Free to play. Nightmare Nightwraith. Solo Dolo. Dunzos. So anyways, I hope that helps. I know it's not the greatest build. It's not the most optimized, but it does work. It gets the job done. One last look here. You could tweak these numbers probably. And you could definitely go higher Maelstrom. It just makes the ending of the battle take a lot longer. You can also increase these. You can max that. That's 5. You could have this just be 1. Throw a couple other points on these. You can go level 3 heal here too if you want to. It just kind of depends. Personal preference. This just worked. What were we? 4 for 5? 4 out of 6. So not a bad ratio. I think all in all, the battle took about 10 minutes. So anyways, that is that on the balance tokens, the weekly missions, and how to get through it. So once you defeat Nightwraith in all of his forms and all of his glory, you need to do 50 1v1 wins and then 50 Juggernaut wins. Now, I did 50 wins today. Look at that. 42% win rate. Baller alert. If you're looking for 1v1 builds, I would suggest just asking somebody in the Discord or watching videos. There are tons of talented 1v1 players out there who would be good at helping you. I used to be a talented 1v1 player, but I'm not anymore. So anyways, I'm super excited. Balance tokens, the new rare shop. I think this is the beginning of the free-to-play renaissance, and I could not be happier with the direction the game is going. Huge shout out to Alonzo Harris for really pioneering this whole thing. It's truly awesome. And yeah, catch y'all on the flip.